In the night forest, fog enveloped everything like a heavy blanket. Trainer Emma lost her Pokémon, Gastly. Its last cry was eerie, not like her usual laughter. She followed the sound and saw an old abandoned lighthouse. A weak fire flickered at the top, and around it were a multitude of ghostly Pokémon. Gastly lay in the center of the room, but his eyes burned blood red. "Come back to me!" Emma shouted, but the ghosts watched silently until a figure stepped out of the darkness. It was a man with empty eyes and a Pokéball in his hand. "This is my world now," he whispered, releasing a dark creature that resembled a bottomless pit. The fire went out. Only silence and cold remained. Emma froze, clutching her Pokéball. Her hands shook, but she didn't move. "Gastly, here I am. Fight from this!" she shouted, trying hard to reach her friend. The Primari have become completely silent, and the moon only whispers, "I'll be gone tomorrow." A dark shadow rushed towards Emmy, her shadow wrapped around her legs, crushing them like Caden. As soon as I stopped washing, the light burned out in her Pokéball. The light cowlick fluttered, and an old friend, Pikachu, appeared. "Pikachu, thunder strike!" Emma screamed. MOV flash, the blow spread the shadows, but the dark essence of the world was not stolen. "You didn't understand, it's just a cub," having washed the man from empty eyes, and his silhouette began to break up, depriving Emma of the Pokemon himself from the dark, as he lived a rich life. Temryavi faded away, but was still alive, standing tall like the walls of the lighthouse. I stand ready, my cheeks sparkling, ready for another blow. The Gastlys began to collapse, but they were no longer friends. As he flies, he apparently whispers low, "Come. Don't be afraid. Gastly, fight. You are the strongest for this." Emma shouted, but she was laughing even more, her voice sounding like 100 voices from the moon. The darkness was approaching. Vona let go of her tentacles, which grabbed behind the walls, pulling Emma into the black abyss. Pikachu released the strongest discharge, but in the dark the flashlights faded, washing out the water. Then the lighthouse shook, and a blue light flashed at the top. It looked like half a legend. Emma guessed the old legend about Arceus, the creator Pokemon. "Pikachu, try. It's our fault that we reached the top." Von screamed, grabbing the Pokeball. Now this world had no more hope. The darkness was not about to let go. Emma began to rush through the dark, squeezing Pikachu close to her. The tentacles of the shadow were trying to gather around her, but she was squirming away, screaming with fear. The blue light at the top of the lighthouse became brighter, the sky clicked. The Gastly appeared in front of her again, crossing the path. His red eyes shone with hatred, but a faint memory was lost in them. "Emma," she whispered in her old voice, stammering unbearably. "Gastly, you can overcome this. You will always be my friend," she shouted, stretching her hand to the ground. The darkness began to crumble and the sky was torn apart by these words. From behind Gastly a gigantic figure grew from its empty eyes. "This is a dark Pokemon, similar to Giratina, but even more creative. Your time has passed, girl," he muttered in a low voice. Emma, clutching her Pokeball, rushed towards the light, leaving fear behind. Their legs were almost trimmed, and the blue half was already very close. From the top of the lighthouse there was a bright light. Neomo showed up to stand in silhouette, Arceus. His voice sounded like a thunderous voice, "You showed mercy. The time has come to put an end to this darkness." The light swelled, fading everything, dimming the darkness and becoming increasingly quiet. Emma closed her eyes, feeling her hand touching something warm. When she opened her eyes, Gastly marveled at her with his good old look. The Gastly quietly said, "Diakuyu, Emma." His glance was filled with vengeance. The primal atmosphere of the lighthouse began to bloom, and the blue light of Arceus flooded everything. "Temryavi has never died," Arceus's voice moaned. "You brought it to light that you will know the way again." Emma sank to her knees, feeling incredibly sure that there was hope in her heart. She marveled at Gastly and Pikachu, who stood guard, their eyes shining calmly. Proud Arceus expressed his respect at this place near the depths of the lighthouse. "You need to know the source of evil," he said, "and find it before it arises." An ancient symbol appeared on the underside, leading to the secret passage into the depths of the lighthouse. The darkness there was thick, it was niche. "Are you ready to go deeper to finish this?" asking Arceus. Emma gave up, having gained strength. Vona nodded, holding her Pokéball at the ready. "I'm ready. This is our bond. The darkness has not given up yet." And rightly, evil was in front. Emma descended from the dungeon, with 3 painful poke pains in her hands. Gastly and Pikachu were instructed to be ready for the rest of the battle. At the center of the dark hall a black sphere pulsated, the body of evil. As soon as it got closer, the sphere swelled, releasing a dark Pokémon similar to Giratina's magical form. Yogo's face pierced the wind, and his gaze pierced the soul. "Pikachu, Thunder Strike." "Gastly, Shadowy Kolya." Emma screamed. Their friends attacked at the same time, but the Pokémon was too strong, and the darkness destroyed everything. Then Emma realized the fight is not only strong, but light. Vona guessed Arceus's words. "The light will soon find a way." She pulled out the medallion, a gift from her late mother, and raised it to the sphere. The medallion began to shine with golden light, as the darkness began to shine. Giratina screamed and rebelled at the light. The sphere disappeared into darkness, leaving the hall clean. Emma fell to her knees, naked, but still happy. Gastly and Pikachu hugged them, and "I will overcome." Arceus appeared before her and stood up. "You created not only this lighthouse, but also all the light in the darkness. Your heart will have light in the future. The lighthouse has shone again, now as a symbol of hope." Emma went out to the meeting, holding her Pokémon in charge, knowing that she had worked hard. And the light became a little brighter.